Hey folks, how's everybody doing? So, we got in chat. Hey Serd, how are ya? Hope you can all hear me okay. Am I gotta turn on the audio here in the sim? Yeah, sure, why not? So, there's some testing I wanted to get done for a user report. And Magus, welcome, welcome. Hopsmack Daddy-O, welcome aboard. How are ya? Okay, L619er, P851, and BIM. And then they had arrival 6N. Sure. Execute. Wonderful. Now let's have a look at the lags here. And as predicted, no terminating constraint, so I can right away probably dismiss that error report. But just to be absolutely sure, I'm going to quickly throw the airplane up into the air to verify that this is indeed the case. Cool. I've got the chocks in, so we can get a little rid of those. Okay, so let's throw the airplane up into the air, get some speed going. Alrighty. Hey Hawkeye, 911, welcome, welcome. XX Cave Dweller XX. And Sparker, hey Palm 57, how are you? Okie doke, so cabin is more or less pressurized, good stuff, so we can now go ahead and drag the airplane over here. And they were at 39,000 feet. I'm going to drag the nose attitude down, and I'm going to give it kind of for 20 knots. Something like that. That should give us reasonable behavior here. And we want to altitude hold. Yes, yes, cabin altitude. I know about it. Yeah, whatever.
Cabin pressure.
Yes, go away. So, engines are running, okie doke, and we want to go and roll the pre-selector up to 39K. 39K, about there. And I'll want to go in here, make sure that my perf is valid. Okay, it is still valid, good stuff. I want to go and swap the barrow over and get this guy up here, about there. ATS, I said ATS. Okay, where am I in respect to my flight plan? I'm still not far back enough, so let's go like so. And on here I'm gonna go MFD advance, 2 waypoint, good stuff. So now I am on the thing. Okay, and I want to go a little bit laterally about there. Cool, that should place me right on the route, and I want to activate the leg from Idexu. Where is it at? There you are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Execute. LNAV. And it's like we were here all along. Good stuff. Whack-a-mole and bug reports. Hey, Snerd. Sort of, yeah, pretty much playing whack-a-mole. And, yeah. So, on R2. No, this is B14. This is beta 14 on my trusty old X-plane. I do have RC2 for X-plane, but it's not running right now. Hey, 19 OSY81. So, pilot deviation is as expected, not here. But I'm gonna message him. Issue not reproduce. Cannot reproduce. VNAV correctly indicates this advisory descent not or automatic VPath capture not expected. Good stuff. Let's see, what that was, that the report? Yes, it was. Yep. So, problem not found. I think we can go ahead and comfortably... Okay, yeah, cabin altitude is now below 10,000. Good stuff. And yeah, this is new on Challenger 650 on the latest betas in version 1.7. Hey, Black 2306T, welcome, welcome. Yeah, this is on the latest builds of the Challenger 650. You're going to get this kind of DES, DES advisory. And also this is on here, not going to say TOD, it's going to say DES, DES. And that is to tell you it's not going to descend for you, because you have no constraint that will limit the descent. So it cannot construct a vertical path because there's nothing terminating your descent. So if you look over here, I'm gonna go to the start of the leg here. Not recording this flight. Well, I can't help you there. Well, if I can't reproduce it, well, I guess I'm sorry, and I just have to conclude that it is user error. But anyway, you can see it predicts a descent, but there's nothing stopping you from running into the ground. There's nothing terminating the descent. So what it does basically in absence of a descent profile is basically tries to make it so that a 3-degree descent from the last waypoint would essentially end up 1,500 feet above the aerodrome elevation 10 miles from it. But other than that, it basically cannot construct a constrained descent profile. So it's not gonna. Now if I did this, if I went 4,000 in here as a hard constraint, that is different. Then that should have actually, well, why aren't you still giving me a top drop? Huh, I gotta check. That's interesting. It should have, or it might still, huh, interesting. This should have already started constructing a TOD point. So why aren't you anchoring my descent? Well, I think I know. I think I know why. Ah, right. Anyway, I'm gonna pull the airplane back a little bit, realign the thing, and we'll go back on the path. VNAV. Right, it can't terminate on just a star point. Theoretically, though, we could. Let me check. Hey, Hatrico, welcome. If you had selected a... Let's see. Why wouldn't you be giving me a TOD here? That should have generated a TOD. Well, into the code we go. Stand by 1 sec. And you go out of my way. And cool. Let's go. So. So what would you, that'll be in here, FPL path constructor, DES advisory, good stuff, DES advisory, and so guess descent end position. Yeah. That sort of rings a bell. Guess descent end position, sure. And, yay! Ah, I think I know why. Right. So, coming back in here, if I put it not on here, but on there. Aha! Okay, yeah, okay. So I've got this cleared up. Well, it's not doing that, but easy peasy lemon squeezy, we can fix that real on quick. That probably would not have still generated a descent anyway. Well, it's unlikely that the user, the pilot deviation, was reporting this as being a problem. This is more of a, like, I just accidentally found something different. G-Slayer, hello, welcome. Okie doke. So the problem is basically that the anchoring leg. Okay, there we go. DES advisory and compute descent constraint leg update descent speed. You know what? I'm going to simplify this part. This is going to go away. And there is a des_ADV variable here that tracks this stuff. Okay, des_ADV. Discontinuity breaks up the descent path. Yeah, that's good. If descent advisory. Okay, yeah, so we'll shift you up. Yep. And yep. Okay, so I'll put you up here. So, descent advisory. Okay, yeah, and like so, and like so. Okay, so if we are in descent advisory mode of construction, then we'll have a look at, we'll try and decode any constraint that might be on this leg, if there is one, and if there is one, this will be greater than minimum altitude. Then we'll demark that this advisory thing down. Otherwise, we'll just go ahead and flag the leg here. Is this clear enough? Yeah, I guess this'll do. Okay, no problemo. We'll recompile the puppy here, and let's go. Unpause, reload. Unreleased. What was the bug? The problem was basically that if you put a constraint at the last waypoint on the flight plan that didn't terminate at the runway, it would not have given you a TOD, which it should have. You'd have to have the constraint on the preceding leg before the last one. But anyway, with that sorted now, we do get, I don't know if we didn't get, oh, hang on, I know, I think I know what the problem is, still. It's skipped past the leggy here, hasn't it? Oh, right, yeah. I was looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, so it's actually next leg is the one that we want to be looking at. Next leg, yeah, descent advisory gets cleared. Okay, yeah. That was just, I was looking at the wrong leg in the flight plan. Okey-doke, next leg. Okay, and that then, otherwise it is marked as a descent advisory target. Yeah, okay, this will work. Hopefully. Let's see what happens. Let's make it happen, Captain. Okay, unpause, reload. Looks Chinese to me. Well, I mean, that's why I guess I'm the one who codes, and you're the guys that fly. There we go, TOD. Wonderful stuff. And so now if I go ahead and delete you, oh boy, DES, okay, and if we go and make this a 4,000 or above, TOD. So now it will descend, and if I make this a 4,000 or below, check this out. DES no longer descends, because this does not have a minimum descent constraint. So there's no floor to the descent, so the thing will not try and descend. Okay. And so let's go ahead and make this, I don't know, like that. And I'm gonna arm VNAV here, go away with that, set that lower, and check this out. As soon as we get, how far away are we? We're about a minute from top of drop. Go bring a prog. We should start getting its vertical deviation indication here soon-ish. Hey, Aeroflyer. Just that you're able to fix things on the fly. Well, I wouldn't want to be developing on the platform otherwise if I couldn't, because that'd be annoying if I had to like quit the sim and do stuff. No, you can reload just fine, no problem. So we got 2,000 feet vertical deviation, we got a TOD marker or indication, and now watch, if I go 4,000 or below, no more TOD. 4,000 or above, TOD be back. 4,000. And as soon as we get below 1,000 feet deviation, it's going to arm path mode. And so I'm going to prepare this, and you'll see it change its mind. White path armed, path not armed. Path armed, path not armed. Okay, and now it's going to descend. There we go. I was even within the 5. I was just doing it so quickly that it didn't get through the 5-second notification. And if I now try to change this, it would probably drop VPath for me. Yeah, no VPath condition. And it's because I'm flying on FMS2 that the message appeared on there. But I didn't want to do that. And so if I go like 4,000 here again, we should get a TOD back. And there we go, VPath. And no more VPath. So yeah. There's a hard constraint, I guess. It needs a floor. There's a discontinuity in the FMS between the last link and the arrival. Approach will make a TOD to, or does the last fix? No. Hawkeye, the last fix of the arrival has to have the TOD point. It has to have a bottom descent. Otherwise, it will not initiate descent. So I'm gonna just sort of play around with this. I'll get 39,000 here and altitude hold. The alt. Nav arm. I'll pull you back a little bit more, about to there. Yeah, something like that. And if I go and, I don't know, select some sort of an approach here, that generates a discontinuity in the flight plan. So it is not enough to have, where are we? Nav mode, please. I probably pulled it a little bit too far back. Okay, now it's not even constructing a DES point. Well, it should have actually. Oh, hang on, where am I? Oh, right, no, I'm too far back. Go back Idexu and make that a from point. Okay, there we go. Why are you giving me a TOD here? It shouldn't be. Huh. Okay, well, it's another corner case that we gotta go fix. So. Harbor. AMD drivers as usual. Yeah. So it shouldn't be giving you a TOD here because it doesn't have a way to constrain the bottom of descent. So question is why is it doing that? I probably messed something up in the code here. Okie doke. So we do uncouple the thing if we get into a vector leg or a discontinuous leg. Yeah, then we kill the advisory glide path construction. Constraint on BIMP. I don't think I do have. No, the BIMP one isn't because that's an adder below, so that doesn't have a floor. So the the constraint picker couldn't actually pick out a descent constraint out of that. So question is, DES advisor. We should definitely be hitting this portion here. So break in the debugger, FMC, FPL path.c3229. No. FPL path. Continue. Okay. And we stop there. Definitely. Okay, so what is the leg? Leg name. Okay, that's a discontinuous leg. And next leg name. Ghosted. That is part of the approach. Okay. And so if I next through there, descent is not anchored anymore. Okay. Oh, hang on. Let's zoom in now. Next leg name. Oh, all right. Yeah, that's a slight issue here with the design. I need to think. Should I really just undo this? I could, theoretically. Next leg. Next non-virtual, and so leg is previous. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to revert the change, restore. We're back to where we were. And what I'm gonna do is change the design a little bit of how we do this. Basically, it'll be a little bit of code duplication, but not too bad. Where's my des ADV? Where does it get reset? Des ADV is false. There you are. Okay, and if we are in that case here, then we'll look at the next leg only for the starting leg, nothing more. Yeah. Okay, and then we reset the des advisory flag there. Alrighty, unpause, reload. Okie doke. Alrighty, here we go. So now we should have what? Oh, you did not even give me a DES point, did you? Or am I just too far from it? Hang on, did we? Yeah, we loaded in the correct one. Oh, we're probably it's in the descent phase. I know. Go up. It's in VNAV descent. Yep. I'm on capture already, and with any luck, we should be back in cruise mode. Okay, sweet. Yeah, that's advisory. That is correct. If I go and delete you, we end at that waypoint there. Good. If I put in a 4000 constraint, we should get a TOD. Yeah, we do. Good stuff. But simply selecting an approach, even though it does generate a terminating point on the star or on the actual like full path, it's going to be aiming for the run, constructed from the runway. But there is an intermediate discontinuity, so it cannot start descent without knowing how to hop the discontinuity or how to limit its own descent past the discontinuity. So if I put in like that, there we go. Now we got a TOD. Okay. Certain language here, producer development device loss, sound related. Yep, that sure is unrelated to us. I'm glad my question was useful. Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, yeah, and so if I go like so, no more descent for you. Or no more path descent for you. Ripper 253, welcome aboard. Thanks for following. How you doing? Okay, let's get this show logged up and sorted out, I guess. So the way to do this, like if you want to, let's see, is there a nice star that we, whatever. There might be, so Whiskey Alpha 412, would there perhaps be a, there we go. So if there's that kind of a transition, but watch, we still have the des advisory. And the reason is that it didn't connect it to the Whiskey Alpha 412s. Go ahead and clear that discontinuity, or you can grab this one, drag it over the top of that one. That works too. Personally, I like just deleting the discontinuity and it deduplicates the points. If I do this, now it can construct a reliable descent. Why there was a Linux version of the CL650, super happy about it, but found an unusual dev uses it as a good explanation. Well, yeah, that is one way, yeah. So if you have descent today, you will have to just descent without VNAV, either VS or flight level. CMV Elite, if you have, so the problem is, VNAV, well what is VNAV really? VNAV does a bunch of things, but the problem is, if you do not have a way to clamp the bottom of the descent, then it will not let you descend simply for safety reasons. That is, that'll be extremely strange for you to just go ahead and dump down with nothing to bottom out the descent, right? Because there's nothing stopping you. So for instance, if you just, roll the pre-selector down to nothing, then there's no target constraint for it to stop at. and it would just merely run you right into the ground. If you set this at, like, I don't know, whatever. We'll just pretend that, sure, we're cleared for the approach, whatever. ILS, whatever. And at 3,000, right? Who's to say that this is a safe altitude for you to descend to? That is what the magenta constraints are all about, because that is where the FMS knows you can't stop. You're going to run into stuff. But with nothing else to guide its hand, it'll literally just, yeah, sure, 3-degree descent from your present altitude, and what, you know, whatever happens in between. But you can't, but can't it stop like a normal airline? LOL. I love the LOL questions. Those are usually a sign of high intelligence on the question of on the part of the questioner. But it's not like a normal airline. I'm not even sure. Like, don't think about this as airline, not airline. The same avionics is used in airliners, and so, you know, what's the point? It's just not a way to descend. It needs a target to descend to stop. Otherwise, there's nothing to guide its hand on what sort of profile to construct. And you're gonna find that out real fast if you try and do something like, oh, I don't know, descend into mountainous terrain. Try that around Salzburg. You're gonna find out real quick how happily the avionics is gonna fly you into terrain. So, anyway, yeah, that is why we don't do that. It needs a stop constraint. If I put it like this, by the way, needs an explicit end. Yeah. Yep. I mean, it will give you an advisory to when you should probably start the descent. So if I go back, if you want to go at it, basically YOLO it down, it will quite happily let you do that. Then it's up to you to not run into stuff. Sure, execute. And yeah, if you want to just, you know, go ahead and dive bomb down, be my guest. Somebody was asking about the true heading reference. It's because, again, I dragged the airplane around. It momentarily lost magnetic heading reference before true heading reference, so it switched automatically, but I can quite easily switch that back like so. And we're back in magnetic heading reference. Hey, Vinny. Yeah, so if there's nothing to anchor your descent, then yeah, no, it won't start the descent for you. But if you want to, you know, just go for it. Another possibility, by the way, is if you're really sure that that's what you want to do, just go ahead and do a vertical direct to. Execute, and it will descend quite happily. Assuming I got the code right. What is the matter? Ah, right. Oopsie daisies. Yeah, that's a problem. Vertical director didn't assign a descent constraint classification there. Well, that's dumb. Okay, so vertical direct 2, and I want this to be a D descent. Yeah. Okay, I know. I'm pretty sure insert vertical direct 2. Why didn't you put the classifier on there? Stupid piece of crap. What? Okay, not a target leg. Constrained descent. Okay, you didn't put the classifier on there. Stupid thing. Like V angle nan, yeah, that's just a deletion along the path. And there we go. And yeah, target leg. Lag, constraint descent. Stupid piece of crap. Yeah, yay, bugs. It's one thing and another thing gets broken. Nah, this was broken for probably months now. Nobody's just ever used vertical descent because you guys, all you do is basically full VNAV descents and nobody ever flies the thing like the real thing. Now come on, go away. Yeah, so go direct, that one, execute. There we are. VPath. Friggin' finally, I just forgot to set the classification if there isn't, because I was testing with already coded constraints. Anyway. You can't do vertical direct to climb. That is already taken care of. So if this was like, I don't know, something like that, like level 390 or above, you go vertical direct to that, it'll say invalid direct to. Anyway, and you see now it does actually give you a descent path. If that is what you want to do, then it will do that. Well, that's... See, here's a trick that an Airbus can't do. Come back up to 39. Hold the altitude, please. And let's go. Okay, flight level change up, please. No, not down. Up. $39. And give it all the power. And speed back. I want to get there now. Okay, what is it that I want to do? Right, here, hang on, direct. Was it IDEXU or whatever? Yeah, something like that. Execute. Capture. So, let's go ahead and delete it, put it back to where it was. And I'm going to go in and delete the approach so that I don't have anything in there. And what the vertical directory does, if you select it, is it will... Whichever target you want, whichever waypoint you want to target, builds a VNAV path directly. Yep. Bypassing anything in between. So if you want this guy here, sure. I'm going to go direct to that, and it will compute the optimal path towards it. We'll start descent right away, so instead of a DES advisor, it'll go to an actual proper coupled descent. Well, now I've kind of waited a little bit too long. Shouldn't it have... let's go direct to again. Or don't wait forever. Oh right, I've got this thing. Oops. Why aren't you descending? Come on, get down. I said direct to... What is this guy arming? Not sending the arming signal to the auto flight control system. LFMC, what is your problem? VNAV path capture is 1. Okay, so what the hell is it? Why is the FCC not arming? Which mode are we in? We're in VNAV climb mode. You shouldn't actually be constraining itself. Huh. The flight control computer shouldn't be limiting path arming to based on VNAV mode. Some mode VNAV, yeah. So why aren't you arming the mode here, buddy? Break FCC modes.c633. Okay, you're not even getting there. 613. Okay, can I please get my goddamn VNAV armed? Next. What are you unhappy about? What? Oh, I'm not in LNAV, or am I? Mode active. Yeah, hang on, I'm not an LNAV, or am I? Yeah. Actually, you should not even be limiting here. Path capture. Should that happen outside of the lateral nav mode? It should. This should be even here. It should just descend on whatever mode I want. Like, why are you overthinking my mode decisions, buddy? Shouldn't build a VNAV path between pause and the direct to waypoint. Yeah, that's no. Well, that's lateral direct to CMB Elite. But vertical direct to is along the vertical axis. Okay, again, execute. Do it. Here you are. LNAV. Good stuff. So that is vertical direct to, not lateral direct to. So now we are aiming to be, at 4,090 feet at this guy here, but it's going to follow the entire path all the way around that whole thing, and it will do a continuous angle descent along the whole trip, along the whole path. So it's not like it's going to level off or do some stupid when it gets on the far side. No, the descent is predicted at a continuous angle, 2.11 degrees, all the way down. And this should have no oh, this is a speed constraint. Okay. So the constraint will erase waypoint in between. Yeah, well, lateral direct to does erase the waypoints, but what if you don't want to erase the waypoints? That's the point of this. That's the point of a vertical direct to, is you want to still follow the lateral path, but you just want to change the vertical path. .175 FMS, the CL650 nav should work when not an LNAV. What's the 175 FMS? VNAV doesn't work. ERJ. Well, that's, first of all, it's the Avionics is made by a completely different company, so I don't know how their behavior is. Anyway. So yeah. This is what I can do on a Challenger. I was just curious which logic the Challenger takes. Well, Collins is, so I don't think there's any mention of any limitation about this in the manual, so yeah. And it will slow down actually if I need it to. So if I go ahead and, I don't know, speed it up to Mach 0.8, in fact, I'm pretty sure, no, I don't have this set up in the FMC descent. 80300. Execute. And I'm going to give FMC speed control. And it will actually slow down once we get to these BIMPA and Kaolu waypoints. So if I go ahead and go display menu, show me altitudes and speeds, it will respect those as well. Just need to roll the pre-selector far down enough. Maximum range in nautical miles to a weapon can direct, yeah, 4,000 miles in Nevada rocks. I think. Pretty much. Or there's one limitation that it will not let you do Nevada rocks, and that is if the descent is less than 1 degree angularly. So it will not. Let me think. Would it? I don't think it will. No, I think below 1 degree it will not let you descend. Let's try it out, I wonder. Go direct, and so what if we set Vemel at 31,500? Oh, it will actually let you do that. It will not let you do a climb, for sure. So if I go ahead and say See, now we just passed 35,500. If I try and do that, not that one, direct, 31,500. If I try and do that, it will not let me. So it will not allow me it to be climbed, but it will let you do any. I think if it's like a 0.0 degree, it will stop. It will basically reject you, but that's about it. Gonna say would it? Yeah, because that'd be amusing. Well, it probably is. It's the minimum angle, 0.01 degrees apparently. So yeah. Anyway, got the pre-selector rolled down. And let's speed this up. Damn it, point up so that it goes faster. I need 60 FPS here to go 3x speed. And we'll take a look at our little VNAV debug menu. VNAV debug menu, only have the third page on here. So next constraint is 280 knots. 211 distance to go to the constraint limiter here is 40 miles. And the decel range at this angle it predicts to be at about 8 miles. Well, hang on, that's for like a constant, that's for like 10 knots or something, delta? I don't remember anymore. Again, a lot of this debug stuff is only for me, so I have no idea what I wrote in here and what all of this means. I have to look in the code. Because it pretty much was born when I was developing this crap. Okey-doke. Coming down, so I'm guessing if this is per 10 knots, roughly, if memory serves, then we should be starting to decel at about 14 miles out. So distance to go 19. We'll see. I don't remember anymore what this means. Let's see, there we go, about 14 miles. Are we gonna start pulling back? Not yet, apparently. Oh no, this is... oh no, this is from, I think... No, I think I know. That is from the cruise, from the target descent speed. There we go. Okay, I'll have to read up on what that even is. There we go, and decelerating. Max angle is 5 degrees, Nevada rocks. It will not let you do more than that, so if I said I want to be at Kaulu at like 10 feet or 100 feet, here it will see invalid direct to. If I said 10,000, it will probably let me do that. That's going to be 3.4. I said 5,000. If I said 3,000, invalid directive, I just rewrote you. It will let me do that, but it will predict an overshoot there. So it's basically gone to like a 3 degree. It's different. It's done a completely different construction then. So yeah. See, 280 knots. There we are. We're still following a constant angle descent of 2.11 whatever degrees we had on there. Next, Kaulu 250 knots. Let's let it do that. It might need a little bit of help with this high altitude, but it might be able to get there. We'll see. Yeah, we're light enough. It might be able to do that. 250 knots at 15,000, 16,000 feet is a bit of a tall order, but it might be able to get there. We're not too heavy. We don't carry, or we don't have a massive tailwind, so we're not carrying as much kinetic energy. Get out, there it goes, slowing down. Trust this pulling back. And as we pass a beam Kaolu with the wings, we should be at about 250 knots, give or take. There is an allowance for like plus or minus 10 knots, but it will try to get it exactly right. Does the VNAV take into account predictive winds? No. Hawkeye. This is not a performance-based VNAV, so it doesn't do idle descents, it does constant angle descents. So the winds do not actually, we'll take them into account for burn estimation. There we go, 250 knots, give or take. It will do them for burn estimations, but it will not take them into account to change the descent angle. There we go. Barely wings a beam, just about getting there. And ka-chunk. Say we, for instance, now decided that, okay, we want to do like this guy from there. We'll have to go, no, not that one, go back to legs. 4090, so I'm going to go and clear that disco. Whiskey Alpha 412. Localizer will be tuned, that is understood. Yeah, we're within terminal area. And we'll nicely link up. There's going to be a level segment here at that 4090 feet. And then it's computed a new top of descent here probably, because it's decided that that's too shallow a waypoint or too shallow an angle. And where's our new TOD? There, I think, in there somewhere. Hidden behind there. Yep. And it's going to come down at 4,000 for this section here, and then it's going to come down, then it's going to descend again. And the reason why it's decided that it wants to do a new level segment here, yeah, that's 0.0 degrees. The reason why it's decided to do that is because from 4090 to the constraint here at 3000 at the final approach fix, it would have been probably less than a 1 degree descent angle. So it's basically said, or well, instead of you know doing an excessively shallow descent, it's basically just going to level, and then it's just going to keep on. Then it's going to do a new top of drop and do a new descent. Okay, letting it roll down. Alt V. And this is the point of the magenta constraint, so it can actually arm a proper stop mode. It's not going to run us into the ground. If you had a vectoring leg in there, it would also dump you out of VNAV if the vectoring leg became active, because a vector leg doesn't have a proper termination point. Doesn't have essentially a path on it. It's sort of an in-between arbitrary whatever waypoint. They're slowing down to 220 or Lhasa. I'm going to pretend that we're actually going to do this thing. Oh, right, somebody should have rolled down the altitude for the landing. Wonderful, so it's pressurized up to 6,000 feet. Sweet. And field elevation here is more like sea level or something. Are you actually going to be able to do that at this rate? Probably not. Yeah, we're going to hit the rate target. So rate pipper goes up. Let's go to full bore. And it's going to accelerate on the descent rate. There we go, that's about right. We don't need any more rate than that, so stop you there. 1,300 feet per minute or on the descent rate is already pretty brutal. Yeah, about 800, 900 we should be able to swing. Normally it's 300 on the pipper. Gears imploding. Yeah, that'll be a little bit uncomfortable. 220 knots at Remdy. I didn't even watch the constraint at Lhasa, but whatever. We'll see that. We'll say that it did it right. Around the turn we go. Does a nice continuous descent. So that is what the point is of a VNAV direct. CMB Elite. The conditions for the automatic tuning of the ILS frequencies, you have to have an ILS approach selected. So that is quite easily, well, I mean, you'd have it on here, obviously ILS, or if you went to the arrival data page, it would say that's an ILS, approach mode ILS. You have to be within 31 miles of the destination airport. That's when it's going to do the tuning for you. If you have your tuning radio set to manual, it will pop up for about 20 seconds a message that says localizer will be tuned. Then it's going to take over control of the radios, tune the localizer, and then set them to manual tuning mode so they will not auto-tune from the FMCs themselves anymore. So it's not going to essentially retune them to like some VOR DME or something for position accuracy. That's done. And it will swap over to green needles from the magenta from the FMS guidance to the green guidance when you have approach armed on here, and the localizer is going to center. Once it's done with the tuning, you're going to get this kind of, they call it ghost needles. So the blue dashed needles on here, the thick ones are for the localizer, so that you can see what the localizer is going to be, when it's going to come in, basically. And yeah, let's let the thing level off here. It might momentarily go into V pitch as we make the round a corner if we don't capture 4090 before sequencing here. It might momentarily go into V pitch, but don't worry about that. Just let it capture back onto 4090, and it's going to come down all by itself. There we go, sequencer come in. I'm actually going to slow down at 180 here. Not going to do a final decel. There we go. My V pitch. It's not an Airbus, so it's not going to. It's not like a decel point or anything like that. No V path condition. Oh, right, that's because we're all really close here to that 4090. Oh, VLB cap. Good stuff. Oh, it actually did capture the constraint here. As we pass a beam, that constraint's going to get deleted. 3500, V alt, good stuff. I guess here, Mr. Time Controllers, descend via star. Expect every altitude constraint. Yeah, descent via, but well, I mean, you can always. So, well, in the US, they have stars that are correctly built for this, so you don't even have to use the vertical trajectory functionality at all. And so here we go. I pressed approach and immediately swapped over to the localizer. Now it's just holding 3000 or 4090 here until we descend below, or until we capture the glide slope. Probably want to roll some flappy flaps. Let's go ahead and turn on synthetic vision, why don't we? So there is our destination, EPWA. EPWA. So it's still maintaining that 4090, which was the last captured constraint. There we go, glide slope. Now keep in mind, glide slope no longer respects either one of these pre-selectors, so no minimums? Nah, I didn't bother. You want some minimums? Here. Roll some minimums in for you. I don't know if they're the right minimums, but they're minimums. Yep, I know, Project 3000, that's okay. And 10 miles from the airport, this is gonna, the airport marker here is gonna disappear, and we're gonna get an extended center line for, onto the runway. On the display as well. So I don't know, we've got 10 miles, just about getting there, 10 miles. That's actually 10 miles, not from the localizer glide slope, it's 10 miles from the airport reference point, from the center of the airport pretty much. Might read a little bit less than 10 miles here. Let's go 160. There's the extended center line. Gear. Flappy Boys 30. And I didn't care to program any approach speeds, whatever, it's 15 degrees. Sure, something like that, I guess. That'll do. Is the weight in the FMS kind of sort of close to what's on the in the tanks? Not really. Probably should go ahead and resync that up. That's going to deselect my V speeds, yes I know. And we'll send them again. Alrighty. And yeah. 160 to 4, how about that? How about we do the whole thing? And then we slow down. You also got your HUD. And you can see vertical flight path vector right over the touchdown zone. That's where the airplane's aiming. 5.5 miles. So your choice whether you want to be looking at this or at this. And 4.6 miles. Get ready to roll the speed down. And there's 4 miles. Speed VREF plus 5 is about there. Flaps 45. Being a bit of an ass to the airplane here as it has to dump the nose down. Don't worry about it. Almost stable. We're low 22 feet from the profile, but it's going to catch up. Pretty much right there. And it's going to restabilize itself on the localizer or the glide slope here. It's got to slightly wobble around it, but eventually the wobbles will die down. That's because I dumped the nose. I dumped the flaps really fast. And well, I don't have my throttle setup or flight control setup or anything like that, so I'm going to do a damn dirty descent. Or go around, how about that? So, this guy's going to go to there. See how it draws a little dashed line out of there? That means that is the missed approach, but it is not currently active because the FMS has gone into sequence inhibit mode. Also reminds us on here, sequence inhibit, so it's not going to sequence to the next waypoint unless we ask it to. It should be done by pushing the toga button. So if I go and do that, and there we go, I'm just going to go all full dirty. Going to use the autopilot for everything. This is not how you're supposed to fly a missed approach, by the way.
Set go around thrust.
So I'm going to ask the auto
Go around thrust set.
guy on the right side to do this.
Positive rate. Flaps 20. Gear up. Set FMS nav.
You can see it's opened up the missed approach.
Flaps 20 indicated. Set FLC 200 knots. Gear up indicated.
Oh, he's kind of overset a little bit, but there you go, I'm going to help you. 200 knots. We can go flaps up. And I want ATS. Well, I don't know, like 210 knots, something like that. There's probably going to be a hole in there somewhere. No, there isn't. Ah, interesting. There's no hold in the... there's no hold. It's a delicious sin. Yeah, I know. What's the missed approach altitude anyway? 4,000, okay. Being naughty here again. Let's do like 2,000 feet a minute up. That's why it's giving me a TOC here. And the speed at 220. So we'll arm VNAV, active speed 220. And we're gonna go hold at FDEX. Right turns, ICAO hold speeds, 1 minute lags, whatever. Close enough. V Alt S cap. And we go right turn. And round the turn we go. Is there an autopilot limitation that the mist should be initially hand flown? Yes. Mist approaches are supposed to be flown manually for at least the initial segment. Also, no auto thrust, which is what I did. I left it in auto thrust. So that's again a boo boo, a no no, but whatever, you know. Who's keeping score? Come on, buddy, tighten up that turn. Now he's pulling 25 back. Oh my. Cool. Round the turn we go, and then it's going to enter the hold. And for the hold, let's make it interesting. Let's make it, I don't know, like 340, whatever. That'll be parallel entry. And we'll make it like that. No, that'll be a direct entry, so 360. What do you say? Teardrop entry. Sure. Okay, there's a 220 limitation up to FDEX. Then it's automatically going to speed up to 230, which is the limit in the hold. Come into the CL family. Marimac, it became optional on the CL605 in 2008, and it comes as standard on the CL650 from the factory right away. But a lot of CL605s already have the retrofit option installed. Even CL604s have the ATS option available as a retrofit. And that's because, well, I have the textures kind of set lower, but this is a system made by a third company. It's not built directly by Bombardier. It is built by a company called Safelight. And they make auto throttles for all kinds of systems, all kinds of airframes, not just the Challenger. So it's available on even some military jets. You have the ATS by Safelight. Anyway, unfortunately, that kind of means, I mean, it's a full mode. For all normal modes of flight, it is capable of running. It's just, for some reason, Bombardier might have, felt some trepidations about running it in certain corner cases and emergencies, so it does not have, it is not authorized for using the go-around, it is not authorized for use single engine, in case of thrust asymmetries, that kind of stuff. So it's not as smart as, for example, an Airbus autothrottle, which is integrated and has light control of the rudder trim and that kind of stuff. I think, if memory serves, you can't even use single engine autothrottle on the 737, can you? I don't think you can. Well, I'm sure people will remind me whether you can or not. You can on a 777 for sure. In fact, I have that funky little split arming switch. Or the texture is going to be high res. And I've noticed that the writing is not sharp even when zoomed in. I just have the texture resolution drop because I only have a gig GPU, and I don't want to basically run into any kind of limitations or anything like the thing pooping up. But yeah, the textures are pretty sharp on the normal release. Like if you buy the 1.6 version right now, it will be just as sharp, and in fact the beta version is also sharp. The 37 has no autopilot rudder authority, so no auto thrust either. Okay. Single engine. That makes sense. That stands to a reason. Anyway, if I time accelerate here, you're going to see it. It's going to enter the hole, do the thing. And do the whole dang thing. Well, yeah. Even with my... So I have them right now. I think I've got the texture resolution, even an X-plane set down. I have it on maximum, but I've got the 6 gig texture reduced version running in the same here, so this text is a little bit crunchy. Well, it's a little bit too crunchy, to be honest. It shouldn't have been as crunchy. Let me check. Sure is high res on my render here, so this seems to be X-plane doing something, doing a number on there, because it sure is a lot sharper when I do it, when I did the render. And it's using the same PNGs, or the same DDS files. So I don't know what's going on there, but it's something to do with X-plane. And tag down, that's not the one. I want to grab this guy. No. Of course, it's the co-pilot side that controls the in-tag lighting. So this is the text without the backlight. Yeah, for some reason, X-plane just doesn't do it as sharp as my code does. Yeah, whatever. Get the bunny. Well, it's not a full release or beta. It's a question of probably X-Plane 11 or X-Plane 12. This is kind of yeah. Notice this in a lot of aircraft engineering models. Yeah, get the bunny. The beta is available on X-Plane 11 and X-Plane 12. I'm pretty sure if you loaded the beta in 11, it'd look sharper. And it's not because we ship any different textures. We ship the same textures between one and the other. It's just I think X-Plane 12, I think they might have done something to the texture cacher, where it does a dumb thing or something. Yeah, I think it's just 12. By the way, this looks like, you know, whatever, it's just a static picture that I'm drawing here, but in actual fact, this is a full 3D render. I've written a little renderer for that. Plugin systems data, it's panel ren. Let's see, FCP. No. What's the name of this thing? EP panel. Yeah, there we go. Allow moving true. Yeah, sure, whatever. And if I go ahead and quickly reload here. And if I quickly reload here, I've changed the config file so that I'm able to like play around with the position in here. And pause this and... yeah, so this is what it actually draws on here. So I've written a little renderer that just does my custom panels that I want to, whatever I want on them. No, that one. Yeah, there we go. It's not a super sophisticated renderer, but it's enough to draw all kinds of controls, and it even has all the interactions. So I've written an engine that understands all X-plane manipulators, so I can do like, I don't know, what can I push without breaking stuff? N2 sync. I can play around with the knobby knobs. Yeah, it understands all of those. Yes. I think this is running on a separate thread. Yeah, it might be. I don't remember anymore. I've written it such that it only re-renders whenever it needs to. Am I? No, I'm not. I'm on Windows. No, not on Windows. I'm on Linux, but on NVIDIA. I have terrible flickering. Yeah. Welcome to AMD land. Yeah, AMD drivers are hot garbage. Unfortunately. And that is because the AMD drivers do not have a proper implementation of the Vulkan to OpenGL to Vulkan bridge. So anyway, I'm gonna reload this. Not on Windows. I must be Pope then. Yeah. That'll be about the only way. No, I'm not. Alrighty. I've kind of interrupted it inside of the inside of the hold entry. Maybe it'll do it correctly still. Should, when it gets about to there, it should make a turnaround. It might go a little bit outside of a 1 minute hold line, but that's okay. It's doing a 30-degree offset, then turns back as soon as it can, make it inside of the on the protected hold side. There's only one or two issues, and I noticed on my 6900 XT. Sadly, they're damn big ones. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? I too would want to, you know, kick NVIDIA down the bucket, but unfortunately, their drivers are just the only ones that are kind of trouble-free. You missed the direct to vertical. What did I miss? Well, yeah, VNAV direct to. Let me file this one up. Not that one, that one. So what is it? Oh, right, the next thing I wanted to check on here, and see, now it's dropped the texture resolution for me for some reason. I don't know why. But X-Plane just decided that, nah, you're gonna get crappy textures from now on. Why is that? Let's have a look. I have a little tooling here. And yeah, X-Plane's getting about 6 gigabytes of memory. Or has allocated about 6 gigs of memory. OBS is eating 470, but that's video memory, by the way, GPU memory. This is a display server, this is Firefox. And I have no idea what all the other crap on here is, but doesn't really take much of it, much anything at all. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately they got some better stuff. Anyway, so there's no flickering beside the plugins. Yeah, that's the problem, Bloody GER, is it works great if you have access to direct Vulkan rendering, but unfortunately we don't. Plugins do not get that. Wish we did, but we don't. So let's go, if I reload the airplane again, will you give me higher textures? It might do the hold entry again, though. I don't think that gets serialized correctly. Alright, I was still in the turn back. Nope. What if I do reload aircraft on art? Hey Quaff, how are you doing? I'm gonna try and reload the art assets of the airplane as well, in addition to the code plugin, because otherwise X-Plane might not do a texture reload. So, and it's a little bit more readable now, but not too. Yeah, and it's gone blurry again. Yeah, well, thanks for whatever. The priority list of textures. Yeah. It's like, I don't... Well, it's already dropped the resolution of the external stuff. So that's all great. Anyway. Whatever. Cool. Looks like you'll need stronger glasses. Something like that, probably. Yeah, it's redoing the hold entry again. Because I kind of interrupted it with the reload right in between, and it's something that's been kind of a thorn in my side, but I don't care to fix it before 1.8, 1.7 is out. It's basically going to do the hold entry again with the teardrop, and then it's going to turn back inbound. Excuse the brief interruption and stupidity of the autopilot, caused by effectively what is a power cycle. Incentives reduce textures and erase it back. Oh, would that solve the problem? Maybe it might make it change its mind. Gonna let it in high, leave it in high. Because, I mean, I still 6 gigabytes, come on, there's gotta be enough room in there for... Get some more sims back and stick them in the slot on your GPU. 4 megabytes to play SimCity 2000. Constantly tops out of 15 gigs of VRAM. It's brutal how much VRAM gets used. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna get any better. Ah, whatever, I don't care. Cool. Also abuse the unified memory in the M1 Max. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Something while I was flying today, yesterday, DirectFX seems to be a bit too generous with the turn radius. It thinks the aircraft will need. I remember it being pretty spot on with some change in the recent beta builds. No, and it should be pretty close. You reduce to min and back. Ah, don't care. Direct to not being correct. Well, let's have a look. Let's take it from there. And we can go ahead and set you over to plan mode. I'm gonna set you to MFD advanced, like so. And so that's centered on the airplane. We'll wait until we're kind of sort of around a turn. Or you know what, we'll do like this. Heading, turn, what sort of intercept would you like? 90 degree to the head, to the direct to? What say you? Let's get it like that, about there. Even has flicker in avionics, I hesitated. Is that going to be an issue with the CL? Because I really want to get it. Well, the problem is, not in the airplane, it is, well, it's in the method which we use to draw because it's the only method we get. So, direct to Whiskey Alpha 412, execute nav, but don't let go of the controls. Okay, and now if I zoom in, you'll see that it's going to get it pretty much right on the line. Oh, it's sped up. Well, that's going to generate an overshoot. Went from 230 to 250 knots. I left it in automatic speed control, so it went to full gas. Anyway, Quas, I would say that this is pretty close to what it should be doing. Let's make it happen again. I don't know, like that. Yeah, this time, manual speed control. Fix and then give it a direct. Otherwise, I was bringing him shallow of the course. Maybe I was doing something wrong. Well, it is a machine. It doesn't know what you're trying to do. It's just fairly limited. So if I go direct, and I'm gonna slow down here, so I'm gonna go direct, LNAV arm, LNAV capture. And let's have a look at it on the map, boy. Here. Come on, explain. Stop jittering with the map. And we can even check its cross-track data. So roll out within 0.045 nautical miles of the ideal. So yeah, I would class that as a pretty darn good intercept. What were the winds? It will correct for wind, Pilsner. Do another one. So if you're flying at a really acute angle away from it, really far away, then it might have trouble. It will not, you might be sort of, the predicted turn will place the line outside the LNAV capture criterion. Ended up setting custom weather in after you departed. The turn radius is predicted at the point at which you either do the edit, or then when you press execute, or once every 5 seconds. So anyway, this you can see pretty much right on the money. I'm going to track outbound here for a little bit. One thing that it might happen, by the way, is, so let's go, I don't know, like, you saw the reverse of the case where it overshoot with the Windows driver, however, accelerated videos, stuff like Firefox, combine it with Twitch. It's a pain. Well, unfortunately, can't help you with that. Anyway, so you have to understand when it does the turn prediction computation is when you essentially like press execute here. So that's when it, let me show you. Let's let it run for a little bit. You'll see that at every roughly 5 seconds it does an update. And then it's going to do another one in a sec. Update, and now if I press execute, it's going to do the final update as soon as I press execute. Nav arm, nav capture, and now if I slow down into turn, so go like 210 or 200 or whatever, the slowdown will actually tighten up my turn radius. And that is going to make us undershoot. Because again, the line was computed for when we were doing 250, now we're doing barely 200. But it will get there. The capture might be a little bit soft, but it will get there. Since Manjaro is arch. So yeah. It will get there. It'll just make it not as tidy a turn. Might get a softening there. Another possibility is if you're descending or climbing, those will actually change your ground speed, which will change your turn radius. And let's go ahead and put in some wind. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Good stuff. So for funsies, I'm gonna go like about there. And I'm gonna throw in some wind. So for that, let's get it like this. Slow down. Direct. You'll see a bit, that's about where it predicts us will end up. And wrong side, that one. If I put in a bunch of wind here, it will take it a little bit of time to reintegrate that wind, by the way. So we're tracking kind of sort of south, so let's make it like this and like 60 knots. That sound good? Whoa! See how it immediately adjusted there? Alrighty. Line is boring. More coding. Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll get there. So, if I go ahead and execute about now-ish, arm nav, I might need a gentle nudge in the right direction here, because we're tracking so far outbound that it's actually outside of the capture criterion for the nav track. All you need to do is basically turn it towards the line. There it is. Sometimes it will take a little bit, but if you put it on a pretty steep intercept heading, it will get there. And now, with any luck, it should, with the estimation of the wind, it should be able to get us pretty much on the money. With wind, it will be a little bit less precise though, so you know, keep your expectations suitably positioned. There we go. It went a little bit shallow there. So yeah. But the turn predictor does take wind into account. So with that, yeah, we're pretty much on the line. 0.1 miles. Lateral deviation. But we're flying like the ye old Star Trek Enterprise to the side. Oopsie daisy, that's a little bit loud. Hopefully it didn't blow everybody's ears out. Let me turn the sound down here. Actually, I can do this. Why the hell did I put this in there if I'm not going to use it? Yeah, it's about how sideways we're flying, about that away. Let's see. At this? Yeah, pretty much. So, as we come closer, the leg sequencer should take the turn radius, the average turn radius, into account and make us turn suitably early or late so that we actually intercept the line correctly. Cha-cha-cha, let's go, baby. Make me famous. We've got about 20 degrees offset. Now this is going to make it very exciting on the ILS. This will be flying with a 60 knot tailwind. That'll be exciting. I'm going to set speed 180 here. We've even got a chance at it. And it's in climb mode here, but that's okay. We'll arm localizer. It's armed FLC because it thinks that we might still climb, but anyone had a surprise GNSS jamming. Who knows? You might have had, you might not have. Love that feature. Okay, coming in. We're 0.7 miles cross track, shallowing out a little bit. 0.6. Localizer's coming in. Localizer captured. Now I'm gonna go speed 160 here. Yeah, we're doing 250 knots over the ground here. It sure is easier when you can start somewhere that has an active jam. Here we go, glide slope. Gear. Let's make it go blinky blink. In fact, we can do this. That. There we go. Yeah, wouldn't land with a 16 knot tail, but you get the idea. It can do turn compensation for crosswinds. Now if the winds change during the turn, or you make a big, altitude change, something changes basically from when it started the turn, when it did the prediction, and obviously your mileage may vary, but theoretically, should be good. Yeah, with this high ground speed, flaps 30. If I go back to flaps 45 here, you're gonna see that our vertical speed's gonna be pretty banana crazy. And I'm waiting for these guys to more or less be in line. Yeah, sure, close enough. Flaps 45. Rear's actually probably lower than that. I mean, like 126. I'm very light now. I've burned off most of the fuel. Alrighty. And here we are. 3-degree descent on the ILS. We're doing 1,000 feet a minute. Pretty neat, eh? We're doing 190 knots. Pretty exciting landing if this was to be done. We're not quite at gear limiting speed, but not that far off. This guy laterally a little misaligned. Oh no, he's just slowly scooting over. Or might be angle alignment here. Like projection alignment, I guess. Yeah, whatever. It's within a few pixels of the runway. Close enough for me. Close enough for government work. Maybe I got the lateral spacing correctly. Whatever. So yeah, we're doing 1,000 feet a minute. What's that about stabilized approach criteria? Going still too fast. Anyway, so I've got that sorted. I wanted to go in here. Yeah, all of these guys are now showing. Hit a problem here. There's actually something I was working on recently with the text render in on the radios. Ye old radios. Come on. And right, okay. Oopsie daisies. Radio is nav. What the hell did I do there? Right, yeah, no, I can't. That's gonna kill that. Leave that written there. And I was working here on the radio tuning page, and I broke something here. What is your problem, mister? Radio T, yep, is, I think I broke this part. Broke the data structure sequence. No problemo. Deserialize, I've got, alright, okie dokie doke. Ignore deserialized data version, tune, and we'll want to serialize data version, tune underscore t. You're gonna be type def struct tune underscore t, and this is gonna be a version structure. Version struct tune version 1, and in here deserialize. Okie doke, rock and roll. Let's do this. And what the hell did I mess up here? Strict abus tune version undeclared. What do you mean? I did declare you. Struct tune version struct. 113. No, not that one. It's 3582. Serialized data version. Eh? Do you have abus SCR included? The hell did I break here? Did you mean abus tune T version? Oh, right, yeah, I'm an idiot. This should have been tune T for type. Wonderful. And problem previously was in com control draw. It pooped itself. Where did you crap out? You crapped out at, no, it's is nav. Okay, yeah, it's not in the cache anymore. No problem. This name variable, when I find I can blame myself, yet I somehow never do. Well, in this case, it literally isn't going to compile if I misname the variable, so I don't have that problem. So that gets discovered fairly rapidly because it's not even going to run at all. Nav control draw. Huh, I wonder what it's do tune command. That's the one that barfed. So DEMA is null, or it's not a nav radio. Okay, yeah. I think that was the problem. Okay, go. And on pause here, go tune that one. No, still barfed. Okay, what the hell's the problem? Oh, hang on. I said is com. Okay, yeah, no, oopsie daisies. Right. I think I know what the problem is. Yeah, this should have been is com is true. Idiot moment. Run. Give me that. And into the sim we go. Ignore. And run. Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man. Kind of, you can't be anyone else's fault. I'll accept blame for it. Yeah, I got you. Did some refactoring. Yeah, Pilsner, I got the megahertz kilohertz tuning thing in there on com tuning page. It was really, I mean, I folded it. It was originally slated for 1.8, but it's such a trivial change that I was like, whatever. This carries minimum risk. Yeah. And so 118.72, and it should show with all threes. Good stuff. 725. Good. This guy's in data. We can take him out of data mode, back into data mode. What? 8.33? 8.33 was already there, so you could have already done that.
Approaching minimums.
That was never a problem. Climb back up, please. Flight level change, and that thing there.
Minimums. 100.
Set go around thrust. Go around thrust set. Flaps 20.
Yeah,
Positive rate. Gear up. Set FMS nav. Set FLC 200 knots. Flaps 20 indicated.
4,000 for the hold.
Gear up indicated.
200. And 1 TO hold speed. Good stuff. Arm VNAV resume 220. Sweet. Yeah, 8.33 was already there. You could have used it just fine without any issues. It flaps up, and I'm going to throw in a hold here at FDEX again. Don't care what kind of hold it is. And around the turn we go as soon as we sequence through Old Bill. Yeah, it's going to swing out a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see if it can make the predicted turn radius at least. Theoretically, it should have. It should have taken the wind into account. Shouldn't MFD COM 1 standby be 3 digits? Haha, no. Not necessarily. Let me think here. Radio. Hang on. No, that's frequency swap. Which side am I on? I'm on that guy. Okay. COM 1, 3 digits, right, yeah. That's because on here I have the tuning set to 25 kilohertz mode. If I go like that, it will show 3 digits. Otherwise it's going to show 2 digits unless the frequency demands it. So for instance, if I put in an 8.33 frequency, it will show in 3 digits. I think that's the one you meant. Yeah, COM 1 standby. Well, don't tell me that it's changed again, because I remember CL650 pilot showing me this a while in the airplane while we were putting stuff in. So if this is again different, then what the fuck? I'm gonna literally start keeping records of every single thing he punches in there, and don't put that 3-digit evil on me. Just seems weird. Isn't that what we've established is basically Collins's mission purpose? Yeah, it overshot a little bit because of the wind. But it got itself back on there. Good stuff. Cool. Let me do a thing here. Cool. Right, so that is in. Theoretically, could I let that out of my head? Let's see. That guy is in 8.33. That'll be COM 2. Yeah, that guy's in 8.33 mode. IG. And where's the button? There's the button. If I go and switch radio 2 over, COM 2, not that. I wanted to switch you over to 2.25 kilohertz. Yeah, that's going to abbreviate. Good stuff, good stuff. And now the tuning knob on here is going to go in 25 kilohertz mode, which is the reason why you have it in the first place. But on the CDU here, it's gonna show in 3 digits, which is what the bug report was all about. If I switch you back over to 8.33 tuning mode, now we're gonna tune in the point in like the 5s at the end, which is the 8.33 spacing. So this is an 8.23 frequency. swap it over. That's the button for swap. There you go. And just because the radio's in 25 kHz tuning mode, you can still tune 833 frequencies on there. So if you want to, you can just punch them in there right away. It's just going to abbreviate when it needs to. So 121.85 is a 25 kHz frequency. 121.855 is the same as 850. And 121.855 is an 8.33, so then it's going to show you the last digit. 860, 121.865, and 121.870 doesn't exist. It should, no, 75. Oh, sorry, it's abbreviated it. It's parsed the, yeah, it parsed the way basically the last portion coalesced to the 75 to the 25 kHz channel. Whatever. You get the idea. Yes. Okay. Cool. Sweet. Now, apparently what I've been hearing here is that don't tell me that this kind of abbreviation doesn't work anymore in 2345, let's say 2345. If that doesn't work, I'm going to be really pissed off. Because I remember somebody told me that you could omit this leading digit, the leading one. When operating under the assumption that that's always the case. Like if you do 118.7, we'll understand that, but if you just do 187, then it's going to understand that that is... no, hang on, it will not grok, but you need, if you put in a fourth one, it'll say 118.70. Never should have, according to manual agrees with AJ. I distinctly recall either Krusty telling me this, Krusty the Aviator, who's flying a Collins-equipped King Air, or CL650 pilot. We're gonna have to get him in a, I don't know. We'll have to get him on the rack and figure out who's lying, who's telling the truth. Cool stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna consider this closed, and I'm not gonna change anything about the tuning stuff. Cool. So that 1 kHz tuning mode, good stuff. Let's go like this. Pause. Okay, now I need to filter out the changes. Because I got a whole bunch of stuff changed on here, and I've been doing cdu.c. Do I want to change this separately? Actually, I don't even need to change the version struct. They haven't been versioned. Like so. Good stuff. So... that's this guy here. No, that's this guy here. Okay. So I want to go CDU page tune. That's the guy that's changed. Anything else is not CDU tuning related. This is all inside of the iApps, so I don't care about that. Check in. Commit message push. And I want to go like this for now. And good. Weird, I was sure I had that unlocked, but whatever. I rebooted my machine today. Whatever. What are you testing on the CDU just arrived here? Relics R6. It's just a little change on the presentation here, just with the digits. Cool, then what I want to do is this is the flight plan crap. Then we've got the autopilot stuff that I actually wanted to change or check. And who's followed? Relics R6, thanks for follow as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So that was, yes, descent advisory. And what about you? Straight descent. Okay, so we'll file these up separately. So we got track of everything separately. Actually, I want to come in here. Right. No, one more thing. Get status. Now get log. I'm gonna grab you, and I'm gonna dump you. Get status. I think if I just do this, we should be good. Push. We please push. Is my little server a little bit busy? Yeah, it is a little bit busy. Okie doke, back in the saddle we go. So I'll go ahead and grab this commit message, dump you in there, fixed and commit that a guy. Okay, next, VNAV direct to. What's the change about? Git diff fplc. No, it's an fms git diff fplc. No, fpl path dot c. Okay, it's not VNAV directive. It's that's advisory. Doesn't change to TOD when the final waypoint or final leg of a flight plan has a a flight plan is not a runway. It's not a map. Yeah, missed approach point, but has a hard constraint suitable for VPath. So that is going to be fixed in 1.7 as well. That is going in. So that is in here. Let's see other changes that are pending. Sure, yeah. No, git check in. Push. Git check in all. Push. And this is how commit logs are born, folks. If anybody's asking about how the change log is extracted, this is how. You basically just go through every commit that happened in the repo. Okay, next thing that we fixed today was, right, VNAV path, the VNAV direct to doesn't get. VNAV direct to doesn't correctly assign a DES constrained class if the target leg doesn't have a constrained class already. Okay, fixes in 1.7. And let's see, you were in FPL.c. That was a teeny tiny change. So one liner, basically. Check in all. And fix in this here commit. So fix and commit that one. Report one more issue that we fixed today. That would have been this guy here, FCC modes, right? It's not the Federal Communications Commission. FCC mode is the flight control computer. Right, you're right. FCC should allow VPath capture in any lateral mode. Yeah. Let me think. FCC modes.c. And we're not in VNAV. We're alright. Don't capture if we are in VNAV, or we're in path, or we're in alt cell, or we're in takeoff or go around. In that case, we do not want to capture. Or actually, this be running. Yeah, this would be running if we, or out lateral. So it's lat mode active if FCC lateral mode none. Yeah, if we don't have any mode, then obviously don't. Or vertical mode active is FCC vertical mode none. Yeah, and if we don't have a mode, then don't capture. Yeah, I'm not even going to test this. I know this is the correct way to do this. Yeah, lateral mode active is none, or vertical mode active is none, and then we don't capture. Then we don't arm the capture. But if we have any lateral mode at all, yeah, then we do want to capture. In fact, I'm going to place this at the head list here. And also you up here. So if we are in lateral mode none, if we're in vertical mode none, or path, or alt select, or TO, or GA, In fact, we even want to not capture if we're already in GP mode, although that guy will not capture anyway. Oh, there's already exclusion for that, okay. Yeah, this is the second order exclusion for that. Okay, good stuff. So I am programming an FMS as we speak. Fate worse than death, surely. Could be. Someone somewhere 36. Disarm path capture when not in LNAV mode. Okay, cool. Git add, check in. So it should allow vpath capture in any lateral mode. Not just nav or what was the previous one? Git diff cached or vlock. Yeah, not just nav. There. Tag this buddy here, 1.7. Status, check in. I said submit issue. Go to there. Paste, push, check in, commit, push. And we'll want to pick up this commit ID and drop in our bug tracker fixed and commit that one there. Mine will be a DCS World Project C130J. Sweet. Does that thing have a super complicated FMC, or is it mostly the straight legs to, you know, military don't generally use a very complicated method navigation? Cool beans. Okay, compute VNAV LPV. Okay, so this is actually what I wanted to test today. Yeah, good stuff. So we got everything compiled. The bug description of this one's going to be a little bit complicated, so I'm going to postpone that. And here we want to go and fly. In fact, I want to go to LFKC, St. Catherine. Yeah, sure, whatever. Something that has an LPV approach. Let's go there. It's very complicated. Essentially, 737 style FMC in addition to a separate mission computer. Oh my. Oh, you're gonna enjoy that then. Where did you get the nav data for then? I suppose Navigraph can't provide you with the airrack data for that. Alrighty. Yeah, right. It's military transport. I would assume it might need RNAV capability and like modern procedures and everything. Huh. Compile it your own. Well, that's gonna be a hoot. I want to go gear chocks.
Yeah, minimums.
Just a quickie here.
Sync rate. Pull up.
Yeah. I've
Pull up.
repositioned and that's a little bit pissed off because we suddenly are on the ground. I mean, a full world map makes it. Oh, right, yeah. Right. You don't. All right. And don't think DCS. Well, except for Vegas, it doesn't have real world maps, does it? It's basically like a fictitious world map there, or like a theater map. So you can pretty much make up your own procedures. Yeah. It's still not fun, to be honest. You need to design procedures correctly. You need some pretty high-end and niche software. I think somebody was looking at that recently. Well, a couple of years ago. I remember somebody mentioned it on Discord. Yeah, that software is very, very strange and not at all something that any mere mortal would normally get their hands on. Huh. See how it's sharpened up? Now that I'm at a region that is sufficiently remote, I guess, Sardinia, suddenly I have high-res textures. Thanks, explain. Instead of being near Warsaw. Cool. Anyway. It was probably running low on memory. Good on explain. For not keeling over. What is it I want to put in here? Right, LFKC. There. We're gonna go ignore the departure. We're gonna go straight into the arrival, and it's RNAV Whiskey 18 from yeah, whatever. Don't care. Right on, and it is an EGNOS LPV only, so you cannot toggle this to anything other than an LPV approach. Good stuff. And so close that. Let's see, what do I want to do in here? I want to put in a cruise altitude of, let's say 6,000 or whatever. Doesn't actually matter. Should we put in, well, we'll put in some fuel. Do we want to do this like an actual flight? Sure, something like that. CL650 fuel tanks. On tanks. Fuel tank. Oh, yeah, it's without the S. Put in like 1,600 kilos on one side, 1,600 kilos on the other. Sure. Flap to 20. Set takeoff trim to about a reasonable number. Set takeoff mode. Inlet T is armed. Thrust limiter is initialized. Good stuff. And other than that, I'm gonna set you up to 6,000. Sweet. Flight level 60. Or whatever. Cool. Save this state on the runway just in case I need to return back. And I think I can take the chocks away. Parking brake on. And we'll save you this way. Yeah. Boom. Brakes off and let's go. The HUD, yeah, it's bright as all hell, so put the shade on there. How did you get that far into orbit? I just held back. I just held the, the zoom out key, the move back key. Whatever. Yank it up into the air. Positive rate of climb. Get the autopilot in because I'm lazy. Heading. Flight change. Flaps up. 200 and something knots. I don't know. Something like there. And we'll do a right turn here. To like about there. 280. Right into the train. Sweet. Into the train we go. Mission computer does such exotic things, computerized airdrop points. Yeah, I would imagine. Gotta be something very, very that we civilian scrubs would not be bothered about. And round the turn we go. And let's just go north. So let's go like, I don't know, 280 knots. 290 knots. I am speed. Okay, I'll select cap. So what's the front course on that? There. It's 177, so we want to go 157. That is the exact reciprocal of the runway. Whee. Yeah, I don't need that. Really? Altitude select. Yeah, that blinky light is fun. Has something to do with the X-plane atmosphere or something in Beta 14. At least they fixed the flashing due to the weather. That is no longer a problem. Kinda sad that RCs 1 and 2 were such bunk. Okay, I'm bored. Let's go faster. There we go, 3x speed, so we're pretty much going like, I don't know, Mach 1.5, give or take, effectively. Yep, pretty much. We're going almost half the speed of sound down here. So... High speed. So predicts 4673 there. Flight plan discontinuity, whatever. And so what I've been doing here, this piece of code, I was really mulling over whether I should put this into the 1.7 release, but I'm going to try and sneak that in. It is a change in how the VPath is computed on LPV approaches. So let's go and set our altimeter to something really stupid. I don't know, like 30, 40, 3050, so that we can get the behavior really, really obviously. So down we go, and now we compare to the GPS receivers, we are about 500 feet low. Alrighty, make the right turn here. Round the bend. And MFD advance, shoot the waypoint to the airport, to the airplane. Good, 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 good. And I'll save this state here for the next test case. Nice. Right, this is about what I wanted. So get centralized there. So I'm gonna save this state here. Save. And for the simplest case, thanks for choosing LFKC. Yeah, I figured you might appreciate. Okie doke. So if we go now, direct Bisky, execute. We'll arm VNAV and set you down to, like, I don't know, 3000, whatever. It's gone angular right away. Cause is that a final approach fix? Huh. Let's think about this. Oh, it's sequenced inside of Bisky here. No, 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 no. No, no, direct Bisky, buddy. That is what we want. Okay, back on normal LNAV. Right, that is about what I wanted. I don't know, speed 200 or whatever. So, what we want to see here is we should pass that waypoint. So this is not the final approach fix. No, it isn't. But this guy is. That FC18 is the FAF. And we should be seeing when we cross, even though we've got a badly selected altimeter here, we are 500 feet lower than we thought we were going to be. Or we should have been, actually. So, as we come down here, as I come and sequence into FC1W, we should be seeing a whatchamacallit, we should be seeing this GNSS altitude become 3000 as we pass over the waypoint here. Alright, so through the turn we go, and now we should start seeing, yep, waypoint blending starting to kick in, or altitude blending, and so we should level. Yeah, well, pretty much level. We'll shallow out the descent. So this is, even though it's nominally supposed to be a 3.08 degree descent, or 3 degree descent, pretty much. You'll notice that it is shallowing way shallower than 3, because we are on an LPV approach. LPV approaches have the glide path constructed geometrically rather than, so it's basically designed to behave like an ILS, right? So, like that. And so instead of just the vertical deviation or the shape of the profile here being driven by your barometric altimeter, it is instead driven by GPS absolute altitude or absolute height. So essentially this parameter here. And what that does is it prevents you from, flying on a approach accidentally into the ground if you had a misset baro altimeter, or if you were in a very low or very low temperature environment where the altimeter would underread or overread. So That is why, and so I put in a system, well that was already in there actually, so I'm just basically testing what is already in. I put in a system where as we approach the final approach fix here, it's going to start blending together the geometric guidance into the, it's going to start blending Barrow into the geometric. When we get to the FAF, it's going to be from there on out, it's fully geometric. So we should be crossing the FAF here at exactly 3000 GNSS altitude, yes. Even though our altimeter is actually going to read lower, I think. And so if I go approach here, glide path. Yes, whatever. Shut up. Or no, this is going to overread now. Yeah, we're going to read more than 3000 here on the barometric altimeter, but it's going to read 3000 at GNSS. And just as we come around FC18W, coming right on down. Perfection. As soon as he crosses over that, it's going to dip down the nose. There we go, sequenced. And you see we're 7 feet low. Realistically, that's just time delay here on the measurement or accuracy measurement. So we crossed out exactly 3,000 feet geometric, or 3,000 feet GPS, even though it thought that we were 500 feet high. If you just looked at the barometric altimeter, it's because of altimeter error here that I've just manually caused. And now this is going to drive me pretty much right at the runway. Well, provided that the elevation of the runway is correct in X-plane, which it isn't always the case. Although it kind of depends on really not just where the not really where the runway is. In this case, it's aiming for a touchdown point of 834 feet. Again, GNSS altitude, not necessarily barometric altitude. That might not matter. In terms of progress, and we are pretty much right on path. The fact that it's aiming short of the runway, let me just check. Yeah, it's aiming pretty much a little bit short of the runway. I'm pretty sure this is either elevation error on the part of X-plane, or it could be that the threshold aiming point is a little bit short. In this case, the approach doesn't terminate on a runway waypoint, it terminates at something. KC 510, 834 feet GPS, so, you know, whatever. It kind of sort of is coming into view. Guess we're now a little bit low, a little bit high. Yeah, it kind of sort of does work out roughly into the runway. It's not even exactly aligned with the runway. It could be like a 0.1 or 0.2 degree offset. But it is steering within 0.01 nautical miles. By the way, if you want to know, for scale, 0.01 nautical miles is about the wingspan of the aircraft. So we are within essentially one wingspan or half a wingspan of the ideal track according to the GPS measurement. Of course, however accurate that might be, which you can't. The system is going to tell you. Yeah, it's squawking at me about the gear. Going a little bit fast, in fact. Oopsie daisies. Horizontal figure of merit is 8 meters. And horizontal protection level is 13 meters. Really tight.
Too low. Terrain.
Yeah, I know. So as we actually have already crossed over the terminating point here. Was our height is now going to be necessarily lower than that, but you get the idea. So let's do it again properly this time. Fly. So I'm going to just try it again here for funsies. So I'm going to go direct Bisky, execute, nav, back to approach, LPV arm, top of descent, set this lower, 3000. We've got the badly set barrel altimeter, good stuff. Yeah, I'm not, minimum is just for like pilot references. I'm checking the accuracy of the guidance here. So down we go, TOD. So this is now still barometric guidance. Oh, hang on, I didn't arm LPV or VNAV. There we go, VPath. Forgot about that part. I must say this is a nice feature for XP devs to be able to reload approaches with ease compared to MSFS offers in terms of reloading. Well, Aeroflighters is built into my aircraft. It's nothing to do with X-Plane itself. I basically just yank the airplane back to where it was, restore all position state and all the avionics state myself. It's really not X-Plane's achievement, I would say. Let's go a little bit slower so I'm not being a complete idiot here. So 160 on the speed, or 180 on the speed for now. So we're still in. This is still using barometric information, by the way, because of the star shape or the snowflake, instead of it being angular. Angular is when it's going to be there. When it goes into these diamonds, that's when it's angular deflection. So now the scale of the deviation bar here is no longer fixed. It's not a fixed number or a fixed lateral number. It's a narrowing cone down to the runway, and it also starts giving me like the blending behavior now as we come in. Now this is already in the airplane that you've got. There's a different feature of this that I'm gonna be testing here in a moment. I've got good ones as well. XP devs really have spoiled us for save states. Yeah, Tolus is also a pretty good one, yeah. It's not built in. Pretty sure it's built in. Oh, right. It's not built into the sim itself, yeah. Okay, as we come through 3,500 here on the GNS altitude, we should sequence through to the next leg. Yep. Check that. I'm going to time accelerate a little bit. And Meyer 124. Thanks for follow. Welcome. So, as we come down here, yeah, the direct angle measurement here is going a little bit bananas. So as we come through and sequence, we're just about perfectly at 3,000. Good stuff. Now it's going to dip the nose further down. I'm going to actually drop the gear. Speed, I don't know, like about there-ish. And we're going to go give it a bunch of time here. So flaps 30. And as we come through 150, I'm going to put it to flaps 45. And there's flaps 45, give or take, close enough. Okay, Prague. Yeah, notice it announced 2,500 even though it says 3,000 on here on the altimeter, because I've deliberately misset the altimeter. But geometrically, in terms of guidance, we're right on the money. And now don't think that simply because this is vertical deviation here that says that it's being driven off the GPS. This might actually still be driven barometrically. Just whether it is GPS driven or altimeter driven depends on the type of approach that you're in, and if it's showing you the snowflake symbol on here or the diamond. Okie doke. So 834 is what our GPS should be reading at the waypoint, or at the misapproach point. So just time accelerate a little bit through there. We get there a little bit faster, a little bit fast, in fact, still. About there should be fine, I guess. Being a little bit of an asshole here with the decel. Alrighty. Where is my GPS? There's the GPS, 1,500 feet. We're within a few feet. It's making teeny tiny adjustments. Now again, sequencing is inhibited, hence the dashed line.
1,000.
1,000 feet, even though we're 1,500 indicated on the barrow. Where do you see your A and P? That is a little bit difficult to see, but it's over. Well, it's not difficult. AMP is over here. EPU is 0.01. That's the estimated position uncertainty. Okay, so coming through onto the missed approach point, we should be 813 or 834. And just as it passes a beam of the trailing edge of the wings, that's about the center of the airplane symbol. And pretty much right about there. Hit 32, you know, just about past the beam. And now it just keeps on descending. Cool. That worked. So let's go ahead and reload the state back into flight. Is it possible to have an A that low? I don't know what an A that means. Must be some Airbus terminology you're using there because I have no idea what you mean. So direct to there. Yeah. No, not. Come on, go back. No. Direct. Bisky execute. Don't sequence through. Okay, now what if I did? Now this is the new stuff that I wanted to test here. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like so. 3000 execute at Bisky. We're going to do like a level segment. Might need a little bit of brake. That might need a lot of brake. How are we? Yeah, we're 1,300 feet high. And the Airbus guy, thanks for the follow. Yeah, we're gonna intercept that just a little bit past Bisky, so what if I made this like 3,500? And if I bring you up to 3,500, a little bit past, but we'll be closer. Yeah, we're a little high with this profile, but that's okay. 600 feet high, we'll get there. So what I'm trying to simulate here is what if we did a level segment flight here. Now what's crucially should happen is... Yes. It should create a discontinuous lag. Yeah, about the sequence, Alt-Cell cap. And as I level off here, see what it did? There's no more blending here because there was not a continuous descent programmed in for the for this section. And I wasn't in V path, so it basically snapped the vertical deviation or immediately switched over to using geometric guidance. So now if I go ahead and arm LPV, just gonna keep it this way. Let's keep driving. Altitude select, sure, whatever. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. Now the TOD here is going to be fairly inaccurate because it is based on baro guidance and it doesn't quite understand that we're going to be doing something fairly different. Yeah. For an RMP of 0.1, you need an EPU of 0.1 or less, which we do have. We have 0.01. We got better. And there we are. The question is, why is it not arming LP glide path mode? Oh, right, nah, it's because I've got this preselector set higher, don't I? Oh, it's not given the path arming command. So that is a problem. LFMC. I am 137 low. That guy's wrong. Yep. How are you this wrong, though? You should be using the actual deviation that we have encountered. Huh. Yeah, it's not given the path cap. No, path cap is set. Okay, so for that, we need to come up in here, FCC for that. FCC modes, GP arming. Update GP arming. Okay, here we go. For glide path to arm, we need to be in LNAV. Yeah. Okay, so if we're already in glide path mode or TO or GA, and we do have, I didn't arm VNAV, did I? Right, I'm an idiot. Oopsie daisies. Glide path. There we go. Okay. Let's read the scenario here again, because that was dumb. And I'm going to pull the airplane back a little bit. Okay, I'm going to pull you about there. Gonna be a little bit pissed off. Yeah. It switched over to true heading reference, which we do not want. Direct Bisky. Execute. LNAV. And Bisky, we're gonna say we want to cross at 3,500. And we'll go set 3,500 FLC. In fact, we could theoretically. You know what? We'll do it like this. Do it like this, and back down so you hold. Top of descent. Okay. And VNAV mode. There we go. So we'll let it go VPath. Okie doke. And I'm gonna set like 3,000 or whatever. And come down. Speed 200. And we should hit Barrow 3,500 pretty much there at Bisky. What did I set here? Oh, right, I've set 3,000. So if I set it to 3,500, yeah, it's right over Bisky. That is what we want to see. Good stuff. And as we capture there, bring the speed brake out because it's not wanting to slow down. Or maybe I could just get the flaps out. There's a decel. No, not quite. But whatever, remember the level, it's going to get it there. Okay, VPath, still. Yep. Beep. V-Alt V-Cap, good stuff. Sequence. And as we sequence here, V-Alt, good stuff. It swapped up, and I should have pushed this. Glide path arm, good stuff. And as we come up to the glide path, and interesting, a disarmed VNAV for me? Was I wasn't treatment, was I? Why did you drop VNAV? It would not have followed down on the V path if it wasn't in VNAV. Okay, and the TOD here disregard because that is based off of Barrow. It's not going to be applicable. And now here we come with the glide path descent. Alright, that's the path display. I was wondering where that shadow came from. Good, okay, well that worked. But I'm still not quite satisfied with the behavior. There was some weird VNAV disarming. It's definitely not what it should have been doing. Okay, and we're going to pull you back even further, about there. Okie doke. Now we'll go direct, Bisky, execute nav, VNAV arm. Gonna set you down to there, and Bisky at, let's say 3,000. We'll make it 3,500 just for funsies. Good stuff. And I'm gonna set you down to 3,000. Yeah, sure, something like that. So we've got VNAV armed. We are below the profile. We should get to our TOD here soon. About 7 miles. 1 minute to go. I'm gonna bring the speed back to like, I don't know, 180. So we got time to think about this. Laps 20. Alrighty. So we're in V Alt, 3000 selected. We are getting up to our TOD, good speed. Pretty soon we should be getting a TOD indication on here. Once this drops below, there we go, 0. Where's my TOD, buddy? This is my perfinite, not right. Oh no, there it is. Just took its sweet time. Okay, below 1000 path arm. And as soon as we get to the deviation being correct, it's going to go beep beep and take us down to 3500 at Bisky. And take us there. Beep beep. Down she goes. I'm going to point the camera up so that we can actually time accelerate more. Okie doke. Pretty soon. Come on, airplane, get me there. Yeah, I'm going a lot slower here. Actually, what I wanted to push is, since we're on the approach here, approach LNAV, LPV arm. Good, good, good. Yeah, come on, get there already, X-plane. Slow rendering piece of junk. Oh, right, I'm not in... There we go, that's gotta get better frame rate. There we go. It's showing the full desktop, which is a lot slower. V Alt V cap. Okay. It shouldn't dump out of VNAV mode here. That is definitely not expected behavior. Yep, V Alt. Good. Approach LNAV. GP arm. Okay, this is actually the... I think this should be all correct behavior. You can stop blinking at me, thank you. So who's tired of seeing this same flight being performed about 10,000 times? Exciting stuff, eh? I'm pointing the camera up so that I get like 60 FPS so I can time accelerate 3 times faster. Yep, we're beyond the program, the computed barrow TOD, but that's okay. We love math. Who doesn't? It'd have to be weird. Okay, there is top of drop, GP capture. And it's supposed 3000 at that FC18W, but it's simply a matter of like me being, in order to get the intercept right, you have to be a little bit under to get the smooth down grade. Cool. And so that is behaving about what I wanted to do. We're going to test one more case. Well, a couple more cases actually. So unpause, drag you about there. So direct Bisky, execute, nav, VNAV arm, and we're gonna, no, I want to set 3000 here at Bisky, so we should be now significantly below, the 3000 feet geometrically up. So 834 feet is the minimum. No, that's... Chart says otherwise. CMB Elite, that is where the point is, where the misapproach point is located vertically. The minimums are gonna depend on a bunch of stuff. If you wanna, actually, we're gonna show you in the sim. Yeah, so this is, first of all, this is Cat A and C and B aircraft charts. So this is Cat A and B aircraft procedure. So we wouldn't actually fly this, but if you want to know, first of all, minimums are this is for category A or B aircraft, not for us. So that's already kind of a boo-boo. But in terms of where the point is located, it's not depicted on the chart here. But if I take you out of here, custom data CIFP LFKC, and we want the RNAV18W procedure. I'm going to make it big so you can read it. Not that big. So this is the database coding for it. Here's the LPV portion. And this is your misapproach point right there, KC510. And this is your altitude constraint coded at that leg with a descent angle of minus 3.08 degrees. And check out what's inside of the FMS. 834 feet, minus 3.8 degree descent. So the FMC cannot make stuff up. It literally only can go based off of whatever is in the database. So I don't care what the procedure designer published on their charts. All I go is based off of this data here. So I hope that clears that up. Cool beans. So get rid of that. So get rid of that. And that. Good stuff. Keto. So we're coming up to top of drop. We've got 3,000 on the old path white armed. In fact, we could theoretically already go approach LNAV. LPV's armed. But it's going to level up at Bisky, then drive along at level. It thinks we're going to get the top of drop here at FC18W because it thinks that barometrically we'd be at 3,000 all the way through. In reality, our geometric height is much lower, so the actual glide path is going to intercept us way later than FC18W. So as we cross through there, I mean, you'd notice it on the side picture. It would be fairly disconcerting if you had visual, where you would feel that you're way lower than you should be. For minimums, you would choose what's on the chart, so 1150. But the minimums are not. The FMC does not at all care what the minimums are. It does not program. It doesn't. There's no guidance for it in terms of it doesn't change the flight path. That is for your decision making. But the FMC does not care what's rolled into this here pre-selector. So you can put in whatever you want. Even deselect it if you want. Your choice. Of course, legally you shouldn't do the dumb thing, but you know, I'm not gonna tell on you if you're not. Yeah, so if you notice, if we look at 3-degree descent, it's leaving us way short of the runway. Runway's over there. 3-degree descent's driving us pretty much into the sea. And as we level out here, the Alt-S cap, angular guidance,
2,500.
glide path arm. And 2,500 feet is enunciated on the radio altimeter. So that'd be a little bit strange if you were like here. It would look low. for sure. But as we keep driving along this level segment, you'll see that eventually we'll fly right through FC18W with no glide path capture. It'll make it like this. And it's going to keep on driving until a 3-degree descent would put us onto the runway threshold. Or basically crossing that at KC 510 point at 834 feet. Geometric, crucially. Barometric, not barometric, but geometric or GPS height. So, we're pretty much at FC18W, but we are still 600 feet below the profile. So it's not wanted to descend still. So see, we're pretty much through the sequencer. Sequencer's fired. Still below. 400 feet low. And it's going to keep on driving. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. There. It's going to keep on driving until we are, there we go, 5 seconds to top of descent. There's glide path capture. And now it's actually going to steer us right at the runway. Oh, pretty close anyway. And from here on out, the vertical deviation is no longer sensitive to this setting. I can make this thing go do whatever I want. It doesn't affect the vertical deviation anymore. Oh, it's set for beeping at me. That's about it. It didn't deviate on flight path. Could be neither. You can temp comp demands for correction as well. Right, yeah, could be that too. So, this worked as expected. Now, the last thing that I wanted, so this is basically it working for the test case that I wanted, test case number 1, and test case number 2, gonna come right here. Right, I'm gonna go, here I'm gonna go direct Bisky, execute, LNAV. I'm gonna go select 6000 VNAV, make this like 3000 whatever, and crucially we should have a top of drop now. Yep, that's short of Bisky, and what I'm gonna do is instead of, I've got it now coded up such that when you are coming in into the blending section, which is past Bisky, it's just between Bisky and that FC18W point. You come into the blending section and you do not have VPath active, it's going to immediately snap to full geometric control instead of giving you the blending behavior. Because there's a reason for that, and that is, what if you're being vectored by ATC? So, for funsies, let's go ahead and go into vertical speed. That will inhibit path capture. We also have basically leave the vertical speed set wherever that little magenta circle is. That is what the FMC thinks that it wants to do. No VPath, pilot command. Yeah, that's expected. That's going to go away in a few seconds. And as we roll through the point here through Bisky, you'll see that this will suddenly snap up and become a diamond. And that is to indicate that it's immediately gone to full geometric control of the vertical path, because you were not on VPath. So presumably you're being vectored either on like a manual, essentially being vectored onto an glide slope like intercept. I'm doing air quotes, but you can't see, but onto like a glide slope like intercept point. So it's basically just going to project the geometric guidance up from the runway into your point. And there's sequence, and boom, there we go. And now we're suddenly low by 600 feet. So let's say that we were being vectored. Let's see. Yeah, give or take, that'll do, actually. So we were being vectored to like 4,000 or something. And then we're given clear for the approach, so glide path arm. We're going to level here. Slow down, 180. There's top of drop. Gonna dump flaps 20, VGP. And down we go. And now we should be aimed correctly at the runway. Good stuff. Even though I have a horrendously misset altimeter. Sweet. Okay, so it's doing what I want it to do. Next thing that I wanted to test. Okay, so we're sequenced through. Good stuff. Next thing that I wanted to test is literally what would happen if I was... Fly that. Yeah. And let's pretend we're being vectored onto like a final approach course. So we're over here somewhere. Something like that. Yeah, sure. Unpause. Go heading mode. Select that away. And don't... That's because I dragged the airplane again. It's gotten itself a little bit confused-doodled. Mag mode. Good stuff. And we'll go that we've been given clearance to Bisky. Let's see. No, we were given from Bisky. That'll actually. Okay, let's do final approach fix, but inbound 177 course execute. And we were given descend, maintain 4,000 onto about that way of heading. I don't know, something like that. And you're cleared for the approach. So LPV arm alt S VNAV. We are still outside of GP arming range, or geometric arming range. I want you aimed about there, that way. So this TOD here is based still on 6,000 barometric. But yeah, we're quite far cross track, so it doesn't want to give us a vertical deviation. That is understandable and explainable and expected. As soon as I get a little bit closer in, we should be golden. Time accelerate a little bit. 1,000 feet to go. Actually, I can slow down. There we go, still barometric. We're within cross-track limit now for vertical guidance, but it's pretty poor vertical guidance because we are so badly misset on the altimeter. But that's all okay. And as soon as we get on LPV on approach LNAV, we're gonna be within 5 miles, I guess. Should I always do this? Let me think. Good question. I don't know. Okay, coming down to 4,000. B Alt S cap. Let's pretend we got some bad ATC. It's given us a pretty... Oh, we've had some bad misset on the altimeter or whatever. Let's hope I aimed it about right. This was pretty eyeballed. 4,000, 3,000. So I think we should be good. Yeah, the actual top of descent from our 4,000 should be further back, shouldn't it? No. We're 3,500. Okay, we should be good. Okay. It'll be about there. So I'm sort of aiming right. I'm just kind of see if I can get lucky by accident. LPV arm, TOD. I don't want the TOD to capture in baro mode though. Yes, check alt cell. I know. Don't care about your alt cell. Leave it there. Leave it at 4,000. Now, as we get to within 5 miles, it should immediately swap to geometric guidance. Maybe. Or do I need to be on? The computation should probably swap to geometric guidance right away. So let's make this a bit small-ish. Smaller-ish. Oh, damn it. It locked the other monitor. Think. let's come out here. What is the condition for switching to the FMC subsystem? AP control VNAV. I think the range actually should be larger. For the blending, that's okay. But let's think. FPL leg is RMP angular to runway. So we'll go break in FMC subsystem AP control VNAV C1558. Continue. And so why aren't you doing the LP-V thing? Okay, yeah, we are. Okay, Baradagina VNAV. Oh no, it's okay. Approach controller approach in angular mode. Okay, you're thinking that you're not in ang mode. Alright, yeah, okay. In ang mode. What is our... Yeah, we gotta be within the deviation range. What's causing the ang mode to fail? So, break FMC subsys AP control.c 312. Okay, carry on. So is RNP... Oh, come on. Where did you stop? What? Line 175? How'd you get there? I told you to skip over that leg, but yeah, whatever. Yes, is an angular approach. It's a bunch of determination, doing some projection. Why don't you finish and get out of there? What, did I just crash the debugger? The hell? Okay. No. 324. Continue. Okay, is ang. So RNP. Print RNP. Yeah, that's set. Is angular. Is true. Good, good, good. Ooh, we need to then look at our... Oh, come on. Stop breaking there. There we go. God damn it. The hell? Crapperoni. Okay, stop here then. 326. There. I want you to stop there. Okay, what is my RMP? What's the cross track? Okay, we're outside of cross track limiting. And so I cannot go to angular guidance yet because we're too far cross track. But that's okay. So as we come in, approach LNAV. And chunk. Okay, there we go. Glide path arm, angular. Sweet. Yeah, this works out. I was just too far cross track for the angular guidance to swap. No, it's pancake has been averted here. Pancake mode. We are all good. In fact, it overshot a little bit. We are 0.03 nautical mile cross. I was probably doing a fairly tight, nah, not quite a tight intercept, so pretty normal intercept. I was just a little bit too close. VGP and down we go. Sweet. There was actually a test case for this that I remember from Graham. What was the test case? It was for... Which airport? Which airport? Damn it, where are you? Nope, 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 nope. Final app. We were talking about final app. Yeah. Got an annotated chart or something. No. Uh-huh. There we go. And what's the waypoint? What's the name of that airport?
2500.
Yeah, we're about to land somewhere. Anyway. I think this'll work. As is. What do you guys say? Is this behavior predictable or reasonable? Yeah, the speed like about there. Yeah, we're pretty much on the money there. Good stuff. Sweet. There's 3-degree descent. And this final approach is supposed to be 3.08. Well, whatever. I don't know why this is showing 3 degrees, but who cares? Let's see. Would you have that in arrival data? Yeah, GP uncle 3.00. Good stuff. So, looks about what I wanted to do. Good stuff. So, with that, I think I'm gonna wrap up this stream. And I'm gonna go ahead and get a new build out to you folks. I think this is all I had stacked up in here. Let's let it land fully under autopilot. That'll be fun. I think I got flaps 45. Yeah, sure. It's not supposed to land fully on autopilot. It's gonna crash. Well, more or
1000.
less. You got the gear out at least. Flaps 45, even though it's nose low, so that'll be a clunk. Clunk a ka-chunk a chunk. Arm the reverser. We're gonna see if the... Does the Challenger actually have... Yeah, does the Challenger actually have auto land? Well, let's find out. Doing the worst possible auto land ever, but whatever. Good stuff. Ta-da-ta-ta. Yeah, auto land in this attitude's gonna be fun. Nose low. Yay. We get to do some pancake after all. Yeah, we do. So what if you just left it to its own devices? Now it will, if it's windy, it's gonna be a fair bit more exciting. Ah, yeah, okay, it's aiming pretty much right at the touchdown zone. Yeah, it's about to get
100.
exciting.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Whoa, ho ho ho. Auto throttle goes away. See, who says the Challenger doesn't have auto land, eh? Fairly exciting landing for an airplane that doesn't have auto land. Understandable why it did though. Yeah, that was worse than an F-18. F-18 at least lands nose high. We landed right on the nose gear. Whoa! What do you think the rate was? Shall we have a look at the rate? Let's do it. 2.5. You think that's hard? Do you think that's hard? A little bit, eh? That's the landing gear coming off the airplane going for inspection. That's how hard that was. Even at normal landing weights, that is way above our landing threshold. That's like almost double at this weight. Yeah, okay, so fun has been had. And so everybody, thanks for coming by for Toto Messing About stream. And yeah, let's watch this for one last time. What sort of perspective would be fun? Where's the runway perspective? There it is. Dense fog backs up, fog bank. There we go. At least we didn't bump the nose landing gear the second time on landing. Cool. When will we get a compatible version of the Challenger? Compatible with what, G-Slayer? Anyway. X-Plane 12 compatibility is in the beta right now, so if you want to go on our Discord, you can message me, you can get the beta right now. So, link to Discord is down in the description of the channel or the about. Cool. It's open to any existing CL650 customer. Cool. So, everybody take care. Let me get this build started, and I'll see you tomorrow. See you around, folks. Bye.